Today is July 12th, 2015, and today, a few hours ago, I heard that President Iwata, Mr. Iwata of Nintendo of Japan, passed away yesterday on the 11th due to a bile duct growth. Now, this really affected me, and it's affected me so much that I feel I need to make a video and just express my feelings. Iwata has done so much for gaming in general. You know, ever since he took the mantle of the company till now, he's done great things. Everything in the last recent decade or so was him. And it was brilliant. You know, the birth of a new age, the birth of a new generation of gamers. And he led that charge in Nintendo full force. And Iwata has been such a key player in a lot of things, from anything that he worked on with HAL Laboratories to him taking the mantle of the company, his work with Shigeru, with Mr. Miyamoto, and with Reggie, and all these people that are responsible for making a generation of gamers feel happy and compassionate about a medium that wasn't really taken so seriously or so lightly. Now video games are a full-fledged force in the entertainment industry. They're looked at just as equally as loved or as cherished as music and television and movies. And Nintendo had a lot to do with that. You know, I've grown up. I grew up with Nintendo this whole time, all of my life. My first console I ever touched was Nintendo 64. My favorite console, my first console I owned was a GameCube. And I've owned everything from the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Pocket all the way up to the DS. I didn't get a DS Lite, but I do own now a 3DS. And I don't think I've ever played games on a console so consistently. I mean, I've probably owned every main series. I've owned at least one copy of every main series Pokemon game, except for Black 2 and White 2. I've played through everything. If there was a Mario game, I've played it at least once. If there was, a new Pokemon game, of course I owned it. And it's not because of the fact that, he's a Nintendo fanboy. I just enjoy the games that Nintendo puts out. They all feel like they've had that same Nintendo treatment of love and affection and quality. Not necessarily in the graphics or in its design or its budget or whatever, but in the hard work and making the game feel solid, making it feel like a joy to play. Even though Nintendo games are not used to having a good, even though Nintendo games like Mario games are not known for having great story, because let's face it, Princess gets kidnapped, you gotta go save her, right? You gotta do a bunch of missions. But a game like Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine, which were so iconic for its console, inherently makes that game have so much charm and so much to feel. I personally love to death Super Mario Galaxy. It's probably one of my favorite games it's actually one of my favorite games on the Wii U. On the Wii, my bad. It's so innovative and so good, but it's not the prettiest game. It's not at the highest resolution. It wasn't 1080p 60 FPS. Now, this game, this console is 1080p, and Smash Bros. For Wii U is 60 FPS. They are a little late to the party sometimes when it comes to their quality of, graphics, but that doesn't matter to Nintendo. It never has. And Iwata was the perfect example of that. He wanted you to have fun. And I can definitely say I had the most fun playing Nintendo games. And that's not because I'm some kind of fanboy or whatever. It's because I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoyed my time with Super Mario 64. I genuinely enjoyed my time with Mario Kart Double Dash, with Pikmin, with all these games that came out on the GameCube. I genuinely enjoyed Wii games. You know, one of my favorite games, again, Super Mario Galaxy, and even games that weren't first party Nintendo titles. One of my favorite games of all time is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and that was for the GameCube, and it still felt good to play it on my favorite console at the time. I mean, it was my console; I owned it. And so a lot of people don't understand why people are getting so worked up over Iwata passing away. Iwata probably been the most influential part of Nintendo. And Nintendo has always put out quality work. And his legacy of making things work, like the Wii U and the 3DS and all these newer games that are making, or these newer titles and these, newer consoles that he's done so much work on. He made it where it is today. Not single-handedly, of course, because we have Sakurai and we have Miyamoto, we have Reggie, we have all these people that are integral parts to this giant puzzle of Nintendo. But he was the most loved. He was the one who decided to speak during Nintendo Directs, and Nintendo Directs added so much charm and so much feel for the company that made us love him, made us love the company. They weren't someone that was trying to steal our money. They were trying to provide us a quality experience. They were trying to provide us with fun and happiness. And sure, they may not be super innovative, but a lot of people just enjoy their games. The Wii was one of the best sold consoles of its generation, of the last decade. It is actually probably the best. Don't quote me on this, but more people enjoyed playing Nintendo consoles than other consoles, at least out of the people I knew, because the fact that Nintendo really marketed the ability for you to enjoy it with people, made you enjoy games with friends. Mario Kart, always a staple at parties at my house, right? Get a bunch of friends together, we play Mario Kart because it's a fun game that everyone can enjoy. We also get Super Smash Bros. I am a huge Smash Bros. Fan. I've been a fan since N64 days. And from then till now, yeah, we can see the growth, but we also see the legacy that Nintendo has created. And as much as we, as people, want to say that, oh, he was just a person, and, he did die relatively young, nothing anyone in this industry has impacted me as much as he has. I mean, sure, Nintendo in itself has impacted a lot of people, but Iwata has always been the face of Nintendo for the last recent years when they've been really public about a lot of the things they do. And I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Nintendo has always been there for me. Growing up, when in a world where you may or may not feel alone at times, for me, Nintendo consoles were always a way to make me feel better. And for me to escape reality. Just like the medium in itself. Video games have always been a way to escape reality, just like movies and television and books and songs, music. The medium in itself is to escape reality. And although I enjoy my time on my PC and my PS3 and and an Xbox and all these other companies and consoles I've enjoyed, Nintendo has always found a way to rope me back in to loving it again. And I've always loved them. But, sometimes you choose to spend your money on other things. I chose to spend my money on building a PC this time before getting a Wii U. And I'd recently actually just purchased my Wii U. And it doesn't feel like I have to work for anything. It doesn't feel like I have to really dig down to see why it's a good game or why it's a good console. it gives it to me. It gives me this experience of just pure happiness because there is no crap when it comes to Wii games. When it comes to Nintendo, they give me a quality product. They give me what I desire, and that's an escape from reality. And they give it to me in the best way, which is ignoring the fact that certain audiences are looking for loads of violence or things like that, and they make a fun game. You can hand me a copy of Smash Bros., or you can hand me a copy of Call of Duty, and I will pick Smash Bros. In a heartbeat. Because Smash Bros. Makes me have fun. If I don't want to take the game seriously, I can turn items on, I can pick all the stages that have stage hazards, and I can play with a bunch of level 1 CPUs and feel fun. And have it feel fun. But if I want a challenge, I turn items off, level 9s, and one-on-ones, and pick Final Destination, and we're good to go. And even though Iwata may or may not have had a lot of work to do with that game, it's part of something bigger. Nintendo in itself is a giant company, but they're a giant company who doesn't have their heads in their asses. They care. And that was Iwata's legacy, that they care. That people want to play video games to have fun, and Nintendo understands that, just like Iwata did. I am so glad that I grew up in a world where he was president, because no other time am I going to be able to say this about a man I've never met. He probably has impacted me the most out of many people, and I am so glad. Iwata's legacy in and of itself is just existing in Nintendo and making the decisions he made to give me quality products. Sure, the Wii U doesn't sell as much, but it's still one of the best experiences I've ever had. I love this thing. I love the gamepad. It may not be the most innovative, but it's fun. It always has felt fun. Even when I'm playing games like Splatoon, where it just came out, it's still fresh, it's still fun. Even a game series that's been beaten to death, Mario, I still have fun with it. I love Super Mario Galaxy, and I've said that like 8 times. I even love, like, the regular throwback classic game of New Super Mario Bros. I love it. They're so good. They don't have to be good, but they are. Other companies don't strive for that same quality as much, because a lot of them are third-party titles and they want to make a good game, or they've built this brand and this sort of level of like business that it's, I put my name on it and I will be able to sell it no matter what. But Nintendo still has that. But we all understand that Nintendo is more than that. They truly want to make us feel good when we play a game. They don't want us to complain, and they don't want us to feel bad about purchasing it. There are many games I've purchased, both on my PC and on consoles, where I've just felt bad about purchasing it. Nintendo has never made me feel like that. Even Valve, Valve is praised for being so good. I sometimes regret downloading or playing certain games, and I don't know why. Nintendo, I've never had to ask that question. Because, yeah, I will stop playing it eventually. I know that. I will stop playing Smash Bros. I will stop playing Mario Kart. I will stop playing Mario and Zelda and Star Fox. But can I say that my time with it was not well spent? I can't say that about others. I can say that for, maybe the 10, 15 hours I spent playing my Pokemon games or my Smash Bros. Or even longer than that, I enjoyed all of it. So, to the memory of Iwata, making me who I am today, and making gaming what it is today, thank you.